Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us today. We are being joined now by a great man. His name is Sheldon Mitchell. He is the executive director of Urban Ministries Durham. It's an organization that really does a great deal of vital work in the community. They provide food and shelter and support for people in the Durham community. And so glad to have you. Sheldon, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Appreciate the invite and the opportunity to share more about our work and our mission to help people in need in our homeless community in Durham.
Let's start there. So before we get into all of that work that you guys do, tell me a little bit about your background and kind of what led you to this role.
Wow. So I definitely feel like it's my calling and my purpose to try to help people. That's something that's been a part of my upbringing from a youngster growing up in a small town, and really been something I've been involved in different organizations and different community work. I've worked my whole professional career in nonprofit human services, working to help children and families, working to help communities as it relates to issues of housing, education, employment, really just to improve the quality of life and really life outcomes uh, for those who may be in need or those that may be a part of underrepresented communities.
And Urban Ministries does such a wonderful job of helping people in the community. We want to show a quick video. I say quick, it's about 3 minutes. And I love this because I found it on your website and it kind of gives people an idea of what you do. So let's show that. Well, I said that the mics went off. Let me show the video real quickly and then we'll be right back to talk a little bit more in depth.
People think homelessness is just, oh, I ain't got a place to live, I'll stay in the street. No, people give up.
I bet you want to cry.
Go ahead, cry. It's not that bad.
I did feel like my life was over. I didn't want to tell anybody what was happening. And it wasn't even like I did anything wrong. For 10 years, I worked. I didn't have anywhere to stay, but there was always someone willing to let me sleep on their floor or on their couch. I hit a bottom, and I had to do something. Urban Ministries was the first thing that popped into my mind.
Good morning. How are you?
Urban Ministry has been a godsend to us.
They're not going to let you fall. As long as you're holding on, they're going to hold on with you.
We do breakfast from 8 a.m. to 9.
Urban Ministries of Durham's mission is to end homelessness and fight poverty. And we do that by offering food, shelter, and a future to our neighbors in need. We are the community's largest public emergency shelter. Each night, we shelter approximately 100 plus individuals, to include single men, women, and also families.
Folks are able to come in, sleep. While they're here, they're able to get support from a case manager that'll sit down with them, get them connected to resources.
We also try to refer them to other agencies in the community that can work with them much longer term and provide ongoing support for after they leave.
Urban Ministries, they were always there for any and everything. When I was here, I mean, it was very stressful, very emotional time, you know. And when I needed to talk, if I was feeling very flustered, which happened a lot, it was always someone there. Urban Ministries was just the first step. They put me with one of their partners, Housing for New Hope, and they were able to put me in an apartment. I'm actually looking to move. I've been there for 5 years. Going through the motions and cycles of jobs, I thought about Urban Ministries again, you know? So I came right on back as an employee. They believe in me, and a lot of times that's all you need, you know? That's all you need to keep going.
So as they come for breakfast, everyone gets a lunch bag.
I love coming to work because I love to serve the people. The kitchen here at Urban Ministries of Durham provides meals 3 times a day, 365 days a year. Anyone in the community can come and eat. The volunteers are vital to our operations here.
Mr. Sheldon, I tell you what, I'm watching that video and The one thing that stuck out is a person who said they're not gonna let you fall. It was powerful. For people who may not be familiar, what is the core mission of what Urban Ministries Durham does?
Well, the core mission for Urban Ministries is really connecting with the community to provide, you know, food, shelter, and a future. And that's to serve uh, those who are homeless and to work toward fighting poverty as well. So, that's a lot of things happen as a part of that mission to make that happen each and every day for our homeless neighbors in Durham.
What does a typical day look like inside your facility?
Wow. So when you think about a typical day, so we know there's unfortunately there's hundreds of people uh, who are homeless or in need in our community, and every day, that starts with us serving meals to those who are hungry in our community through our community cafe. We're serving hundreds of meals every day, breakfast, lunch, dinner that happens. All that's being done with the support of volunteers from the community who help us by either providing meals or helping staff to prepare meals and serve meals to the community. Within that, we also have each night, we have individuals or our residents that stay with us in our emergency shelter. So we're providing shelter to single men, women, as well as families and children. And, there's a lot of other activities in between that, whether it's connected to our food pantry and clothing closet. That's also, part of our services to fight poverty, as we say, because we're trying to help low income households leverage their limited resources by giving them the opportunity to receive or select food items as well as clothing for themselves and their family. And, there's just a lot of work that's done.
It sounds to me like one of the key parts of what you all do is volunteers. How many volunteers do you typically have? I mean, it sounds like you would have to go through a lot of them to keep that operation moving so smoothly.
Right. There's a lot of volunteers. I would say in any given year, we're going to range from 1,200 to 1,400 individuals that end up volunteering in some capacity to support our work. They're doing a number of different things to help us. I mentioned the community cafe. That's one of the primary ways people connect and volunteer to support our work by either helping to prepare meals or helping to serve meals in the cafe. Individuals also help us by supporting the food pantry and clothing closet. So they may help sort clothes as we receive donations from the community. Those things have to be sorted. They have to be organized in order for people to be able to select them. We also have volunteers that help, and they serve as greeters or assistants or intake workers, meeting and assisting those that come seeking our resources, whether it be food or clothing.
Yeah.
And so just a number of people are engaged in a variety of ways. We also have our board and our other communities and committees that individuals from the community participate on, really helping to guide our work, helping to plan our work so that we can best serve those in need in the community.
Durham, through the recent years, have seen the needs for folks continue to grow. We see all these changes that are happening on the national level. And how is that impacting what you do and making sure that their needs are met? I mean, we're seeing some different trends in the unhoused community and food insecurity. I think that's a thing that people forget. People aren't always necessarily without a place to live, but they are without food. I mean, food insecurity is a very serious issue. So what trends have you seen recently that have, kind of exacerbated some of these problems?
Right. So, you're absolutely right. We definitely have, seen an increase in demand or people seeking our services. And also we've experienced the impact of changes, cuts, reductions on the federal level. And unfortunately for our organization, we recently had to do a reduction in staff. We actually had to lay off 7 staff members back in June because of those reductions. We saw that there were a couple different federal grants that were no longer being awarded because of decisions that are being made in Washington. And we also had those decisions compounded because we had local companies and other organizations that support our work have contracts eliminated. So those types of things definitely have impacted us as an organization. But as we've looked to see how, one, we can continue to stabilize, make adjustments, and continue to provide a basic level of services because the need is so great.
Yeah.
And that's where we've turned our attention to. How do we effectively downsize ourselves, but also keeping in mind that we need to be able to continue to deliver the services and have sustainability to do that work over time.
Yeah, it's got to be tough. I mean, I can only imagine that you're seeing more and more people who are coming through who need your help, who are trying to make it a way out of no way, if you will, to borrow a phrase from church. How important is it to collaborate with other nonprofits and city officials, government officials, volunteers, as we talked about, to make sure that the work you do continues?
I'd say a couple things. One, so, we definitely here at Urban Ministries, we see ourselves as a refuge for many people in those situations who are seeking safety. But we also see ourselves as a place of hope for those who are dealing with tough situations in life. But although we are here and we're tasked to serve, we know that we are not the final solution. We know that we cannot do this work by ourselves. So that's why it's critically important that we do have those partnerships. We do have collaborations, whether it's with local government from the city and the county, local businesses, congregations locally, and other organizations and institutions to support us so that we have the capacity and have the resources to meet the need of the individuals who are seeking our help during this time of need and during their crisis. We do work with the city. We also work with the county. They provide some supports for the operation of the shelter. And, we have a host of other collaborative partners that we work with from a provider standpoint in community that really provide the resources that our residents need or work with us to serve those and get people back into housing. So that's definitely critical.
Yeah. It's a tough job that you do, but one that has such rewards, I know. Again, Urban Ministries of Durham is changing lives every single day. When we come back, we're going to talk to Sheldon a little bit more about some of the challenges. I want to talk about some of the success stories, so I'll give you a minute to think of one of your favorite success stories and talk about ways that the community can help. So just give us a moment. We're going to take a little break. Welcome back, everyone. We're here with Sheldon Mitchell, the Executive Director of Urban Ministries of Durham. And Sheldon, I know that the work you do, you have to deal with people who are in the worst times of their lives. They probably feel like they have absolutely nothing, some difficult moments. Is there one story that you can think of? I know we saw the video earlier of the great stories there. Is there a story that really kind of just stuck with you in your heart that, kind of speaks on a global sense of what you all do and how important it is at the work that you're doing?
Right. So one of the stories that comes to mind, and so I've been here for over 9 years at this point as the director. And when I first came, there was a gentleman here who had been here for some time. And over the course of my tenure here, he had probably been in and out of the shelter, I'm going to say at least 6 or 8 different times. And the main reason was, he was impacted by substance abuse, which many individuals that end up finding themselves in need of our assistance and support are dealing with that battle. But this gentleman was in and out, case managers and staff, each time worked with him, still met him where he was, trying to help him get the resources and making the plan and the needs met to really leave here and not have to return.
Right.
This happened a number of times. He was finally able to be housed for a final time, but then he ended up getting into an accident out in community. But staff was able to still assist him even though he was no longer a resident, whereas before, he was sort of lost in the streets of Durham, involved in substance abuse.
Yeah.
And really struggling in a lot of different ways. But because of the fact that we continue, to be patient, to show grace,
Yeah.
continue to work with him, try to encourage him and support him, he was able to have a positive outcome, although it took several times and attempts to get to that positive ending.
And that's interesting because the young lady in the video also said the same thing, that, for years trying to get out, but that's kind of what you are, is you're a place for people to land when they need that help, right?
Right, because we see that, if you can't have grace or some type of redemption here, where are you going to find that?
Yeah.
That's part of what we're doing. Now, of course, that doesn't mean you can just do anything here. We do try to have rules and, guidelines, because we want it to be a safe place. We want it to be a place where people can find some refuge as they're dealing with all the other challenges and struggles of life.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do want to give people an opportunity and a chance, whether it's a second chance, third chance, sometimes even more, to find the right path for them in their journey.
We talked a little bit about this before with some of the changes that are happening on the federal level, but what are the biggest challenges that you guys are facing right now?
I mean, some of the larger challenges are the things that, we all hear so often is, there's not enough affordable housing. So we can do a lot of things to support individuals, to connect individuals to different resources, but ultimately, there's got to be housing that they can afford once they exit the shelter, in order for them to be able to be stable in community. And there are many individuals who reside here and come through the shelter that work, but they don't earn enough to be able to afford the market rents that currently exist in community. So that's a big challenge. Another challenge in relation to supported housing. So for individuals that have health issues, other situations where they need a different environment that's not going to be a market rate setting in community, but those resources are limited in community. So, having enough of that available is a challenge.
And I know Durham has done some things to try to get more affordable housing, affordable housing for people. Do you think they're doing enough, or what? I mean, it's kind of a hard question, and I know it's a difficult question, but how do we even solve this crisis? Because housing is a huge problem right now.
Right. Well, there's definitely, a couple different ways to come at that, but yes, we do have to build more affordable housing. And that's something, as you noted, local governments are working to try to support projects, try to fund projects, encourage development of projects that are going to have additional capacity for affordable housing. But at the end of the day, we know that there's definitely a lot of that's needed. On the other hand, we also recognize that, paying living wages is an important piece of the puzzle as well.
Yes, it is.
Because if we have individuals who are working and they can't afford housing, there's something wrong with that picture to me. And, I know there's different schools of thought around what is affordable, what is a living wage, what is appropriate. But when we look at the fact that we have, well, I would say 30% or more of our community members who would be cost burdened with the housing or the rent payments that they have, there's probably something wrong with that picture.
And
Or
and then the rent just keeps getting higher
yeah,
and
rent keeps
higher
getting
and
higher.
higher.
And you have individuals who may be working, but they're only earning a minimum wage or a wage that does not allow them to afford housing or rent. Then, there's something wrong with that picture.
And I mean, people are left with choices like, do I pay for groceries? Do I pay for rent? How do I get around? Transportation is an issue. I mean, it's almost like just stuff piles on, on top of each other. So it's a difficult thing. Speaking of funding, I know, money is critical for any nonprofit. How do you guys bring in cash to keep that operation going and have done so? And again, Urban Ministries has been around for how long now?
Wow, it's been 43 years
Exactly.
that Urban Ministries has been a part of Durham and working to assist the homeless. But for us, so we have to do that in a number of different ways to generate revenue. One, we definitely write grants and seek funding from foundations and other entities that support our work. But the biggest part of support that we gain is from the community, from individuals, from businesses, from congregations in this community.
Yeah. We have just a couple minutes left, but I want to give people an opportunity who are watching this. First question, I'll come to that question in a second. The first question is kind of looking ahead to the next couple of years. What's in store for you guys, and what are your priorities, really?
So one of the things that we've really been advocating for over the past couple of years is that we know that capacity is needed, different services are needed, or expanded services in certain areas. So we've been advocating for a homeless services center, really, that would allow us and other service organizations in this space to have appropriate facilities to better serve this population, have facilities that would allow for better collaborative working and service opportunities, to allow for expanded opportunities as it relates to medical care, medical services, help provide or expand services such as medical services, such as respite services, mental health and the like, to better serve our residents and others. Would be fantastic to see that sort of thing come about.
What are people who are watching this and they want to do something, they want to help? What is the first step for them to be able to help? And then the second part of that question, very quickly, for people who need help, what's the first step that you would recommend for them?
So the first step for those who are interested in our work and hopefully engaging to support that work, people can visit our website. It's at umdurham.org. And that provides the opportunity to see more, learn more about what we do. It also provides the opportunity for people to contribute and donate to support us. If they're interested in volunteering, there's going to be links there to help them connect to those opportunities as well.
And again, people can find all of this information on your website as well. And thank you for number one, thank you for all that you do for the community there in Durham. I know you've been around, like you said, 9 years, so people know you and they see you and they know how much you care about them. So we are certainly appreciative of that. And then finally, thank you for talking with me today. I appreciate it.
Okay.
This is great. And hopefully people who need help will be able to get that help and continue to do so in these very challenging times that we all face right now And the work that you do is vital to keep that going. So thank you so much, and for sharing your time and your insight. And all of our viewers, you can learn a lot more and donate and volunteer by visiting their website once again. Sheldon, thank you so much for all that you do for the community. You are certainly appreciated.
Well, thank you again for the opportunity. And yes, we know we have a big job. It's getting tougher, but we know that homelessness in Durham can be solvable. But we know that we have to work together. We have to act together as a community in order to resolve this challenge.
Absolutely. Sheldon, thank you. And we will see everybody next time on Community Matters.